this is it, guys. The beginning. I think maybe that might be the title. Instead of what I was going to use, I think I'm going to use this right here. The beginning. We have been wondering what's going to happen after Bound for Glory, going into next year's Bound for Glory. This is the first beginning build of it that covers the general people they want to show on the show. Now, I'm not saying this is a perfect show. I'm going to say this before I even get into the review. It was solid. I'm not going to say it was great, not because it wasn't great parts into it or crappy parts. I'm just going to call it solid because they wanted a certain agenda, a certain booking, and that's what they're going with. So let me begin. The number one contendership for Trey's X Division title. You got Raju, Dorado Kid, and Black Taurus, which I didn't understand. Now, I don't hate Black. I want to make this clear. I don't hate Black Taurus. I thought when he was coming out, it was going to be Crazy Steve, because I thought he would be the better person in this situation. No, it was Black Taurus. Now, for me personally, I would rather see Black Taurus in either a tag team, maybe going after the Digital Media Championship, or better yet, start booking this guy who is unique in the main title scene eventually, going into the beginning of the year. Wouldn't it be nice to have a new person that you normally don't see in the main title scene? Go up against Moose. Go up against Eddie. Go against Josh or Matt Cardona. Someone you would not normally see in those positions. Because the way they're booking everything, they already got people that's already in not just the main title scene, but just the mainstay of the main part of the card. So we got Raju coming down with Raj Singh. I still say this right now. What? Why was he not with him in the beginning of Bound for Glory? No one said anything about him interfering in that match. He could have been there before he goes into the gauntlet. It would have been nice to see that the Depsy Hitman had his old former partner, Raj Singh. Raj Singh did not generally interfere with the match. He was just there for support. He did nothing. Nothing, guys. So it was not a bad match. Well, let me give it to you like this. Once you see Dorado Kid get the pin on, I believe it was Raju. Yeah, I think it was Raju. He got the pin. Trey comes out and faces him. Then Macklin attacks them both. Flat out, but then he doesn't keep the advantage. He gets pushed away because of Trey. So still, they're going with the story that Macklin, who still has not been beaten, he's been in a match that has been a triple threat or a fatal four-way, and he has not been beaten. He's here, still undefeated, and he's trying to get Trey, who's here, and here. This is where it is. And I'm not saying that Macklin isn't a good to great wrestler or has a great character. It's just that he's booked like this. He needs eventually a real win and something that means something. X Division makes the most sense. I'm just saying. Now, Violence by Design. Oh, baby. Oh my gosh. You can see Eli in my face wearing his mask, wearing his hockey mask, wearing pure white, baby, and a brace on his, I believe it's right leg. He's got to wear it because of his, I think it was ACL tear. He comes down and makes it very clear that it's time for me to come back into the fray. I've been out of it for 6 months. I was right. I said at least 6 months. He had been gone. It's been a while for him. But I'm back and I'm ready to show what Violence by Design is really all about. And then we get this guy. I believe I got a shot of him. And what was his name? The jobber's name was Jay. What was his name? Bidell. Jay Bardell. Or Jay Bidell. He acting like, it was kind of strange because he was really excited, but then you don't know his personality. He almost acted like he was a bit gay, but then that doesn't mean he's gay. He could be overexcited, and he comes off as someone who might be a bit gay. Overly excited. And if he was trying to go by a bit that happened before the match, because EY basically asked him is this your first time in front of television? He asked his name, and then he asked him, is this your first time in front of television? He said, yes, it is. He all excited, and he's swaying a little bit, and he says, you know what? You have the sickness, but don't worry. I have the cure. He didn't even get a bit of defense. He whooped that ass. He whooped it to destruction. There was nothing that was saved of that. He destroyed him. You can see him on my face. He annihilated him. There goes the sneeze. That's what I was waiting for. That's why I had the picture in my face. Anyway, he annihilated him and made it clear even before then that you don't leave Violent by Design. He's talking about Rhino and dealing with Heath. But this was about him getting over and getting someone new on TV and making his few moments of fame mean something. I'm not sure what promotion he's from. You know there are promotions in Las Vegas. So it's hard to tell which one it was. I don't think it's Dragon Gate. I don't remember what promotion's in Las Vegas. I think it might be Dragon Gate. I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong. I just don't know. And I think there was one promotion that they did deal with. But the point is, he had his moment and he was annihilated by it. Now let's move on to a segment that was interesting. But I don't know where they're going to go with it. And this is very important. In the beginning, you must make it look good. Now, there was a segment beforehand with Madison Rayne saying that a locker room talk was going to happen. But it never did. The inspiration comes out. And then they go into the room where the locker room talk is. I believe I got a shot of it. I might not. But they get terrified. Well, Cassie gets terrified by the decay in a mirror and at the door. Then you get Gia interviewing them afterward, and she's pretty much saying, and Cassie's terrified as best she can be. She's not an actress, let's be honest. She doesn't give off the feeling of a really great character actress. But you got to be honest here. They've never really had the opportunity to be more than what they were created to be in WWE. But it does not mean that what I said before was not accurate. What they did at Bound for Glory, doing inspiration, was wrong. If you really want to show that you progressed yourself, you should never use that at first. And I do not agree with it. Here in this situation, after dealing with a little bit of decay and then seeing a little Kimberly and what is the girl's name? Brandy Bardot. They're worried. They're scared. They're willing to do the match at Turning Point, but they're worried and scared, and now they're trying to get the Undead Brides to go after Decay. Honestly, you worry here. Anyone, I know, I saw, what was the woman's name? I saw, and I know she'll never see this. If anybody does say something on her channel, she's got more people, or a little less than me, but she has an interesting channel, and her name, I believe, is the Wrestling Ranger. I believe that's her name. Or it could be Ranger, I think the Wrestling Ranger. I could be wrong. And I'll probably leave a link below. Let her be seen. She seems to be nice. But she loves the Iconics inspiration. And I'm sure she's going to be doing a video right now live streaming. And honestly, the way they look. And I don't hate Cass and Jesse. And Jess. I don't. Not Cass and Jesse. Cass and Jess. I don't hate them. But I'm going to be honest here. They really need to prove that they actually had worked on their stick. Because this is not just about the ring work. Cass has always been better than Jess. In the Iconics, you know who is a better wrestler. There's no way to hide that. But now, this is not about that anymore. They have free reign to be a lot more than what they are. And they really need to prove that they can do more than what they were doing in WWE. They really need it. As far as I can tell, this is still very early days. And they did cover most of that interview. And being alone in a room with a camera, they made it somewhat interesting. But this is just the first time we're really seeing them and showing what they supposedly have developed on their own. They better prove. And I'm being honest here. And if this lady sees me, the Wrestling Ranger, I believe her name is that, how you doing? I hope you get some people looking at your show, because you're nice. I gotta say this. If they don't prove to me that they actually have been trying to really improve themselves instead of just staying with the same old stick, I'm gonna chew them out. No matter, even if I do like Jesse or if I do like Cass, I'm gonna chew their asses out. Just like if it came to Naomi, I would chew her ass out. I'm gonna chew them out. Flat out, that's the truth. Now, let's move on. The Good Brother versus FinJuice, and I was mad. I was pissed off. Because it felt like WWE booking. They get a shot. It's a non-title match. If they win, they get a shot. And I'm going like, oh, why did you go there? Why? You don't need to do that. Just do some type of match or tournament or something. Please, no. I was mad. I honestly was angry. And I was trying to be objective. And I'm going like, why are you bastards doing it? But they have a good match. I've never had a problem with FinJuice or the Good Brothers having a match together. They had good matches. But then, at the end, you get the Bullet Club coming out. Hikuleo destroyed. So did the El Fantasma and the leader, who I really wish. Why couldn't Jay White just say he's the leader in the presence with the other two to make it feel like it's important? Chris Bay's important. But I want to make sure that new people coming in, they know, because I would like commentary to say it, here they are on my face, that they say Jay White christened the Chris Bay as the head of this branch of the Bullet Club. Why don't they do that? Why don't they make it clear that Chris Bay is the leader of this branch of the Bullet Club? That's what I want. I want to make it really feel like something important. But we don't get that. Doesn't mean that this wasn't good and was a non-contest, which was good for me personally. I don't know about anybody else. I'm sure no one didn't want to see a non-contest. They wanted to see FinJuice win or the Good Brothers win. But I didn't want that because I don't want to see another WWE booking where you always let the team who beats the champion in a non-title match get a title match when they should just get the title match and win it. I'm just saying. Swinger. I gotta do it now. I know some of my subscribers love Swinger. At least 2. So few people that care about me. It's only 2. You got Swinger trying to sell his picture with his unicorn. And you could see that he's trying to sell his stuff. You got... How can I say this when it comes to Johnny and Hernandez trying to help the boy to deal with his frustration that he had to close down his palace and that he hates the demon? Questionable. Not in a bad way. You question where they're going to go with this, where they're going to have a feud with the demon and Swinger, because that's what this is coming down to. And I would have liked to see why the demon wasn't there. Why wasn't the demon shown on the show? He wasn't there. I would like to see the demon with DK. Like, he had this moment with DK, having this moment with Black Toru, with Crazy Steve, with the ladies. Why wasn't he there? Maybe next week he will be filmed and he'll be there, and I'm hoping that's what's going on. That they decided not on this show. They wanted to spotlight the people they believe is going to be good going forward. That he will be on the next show. That's what I'm hoping for. Let's move on. We had the title match of Madison Rayne and Mickie James. And I got to say this early. Caleb tried to interfere. And he did interfere. He even smacked his hand on one of the poles trying to hit Mickie in the face. You know what I wished? You know what would be really interesting for Turning Point? A little bit of Magnus action. Just one time. Because Caleb is causing nothing but grief for a Mickie James. They could have had a count out or some type of interference or something interfered with this. And with him messing with Mickie, wouldn't it be nice to have the former NWA champion Nick Aldis, formerly known as Magnus, come to Impact Wrestling just to do a one-off match to show respect for his wife and beat the shit out of a Caleb with a K? Wouldn't that have been interesting, guys? Tell me below what you'd like to say it. Say yes. in the comments below that you wanted to see it. Say hell yes. Say that. But Mickie won. Now, I want to say this before we go any further because of Mercedes Martinez. I want to say this because I know a lot of people don't like Madison Rayne. And I'm not going to tell you that Madison's the greatest wrestler since Hot Cakes. Not. She ain't. But I'm going to say this. Madison is kind of, well, underappreciated when it comes to TNA history. She is. No matter, even if you think she was never as good as the women and the beautiful people, the Angelina Love and Velvet Sky. And let's be honest, Velvet Sky was never one of the greatest wrestlers. The only one that was the best wrestler there was Angelina Love. But between Angelina, Velvet, and Madison, easily Madison was never 100% bad. Yes, I have not seen all of the beautiful people stuff from the mid-2000 to 2010. That's when I started seeing the product itself. I'm not going to lie about it. But seeing some of the older footage, seeing how TNA used to be, Madison was not 100% a bad wrestler, and she still isn't. Yes, she has her moments where she just sucks ass. But she is a good wrestler that when the moment comes, she can pull a good damn match out of her ass. Not that it's constant, but there are moments. And I just wanted to say that. Now, Mercedes Martinez comes down from the Titantron in the back. And I was going to call this her time, but I decided that the beginning. This is the beginning. That's the best title for this show. Seeing Mercedes come down, show respect to her baby, to a friend, and I know they got to be friends. They've known each other, I'm sure, on the independent circuit. There's no way Mercedes has never not met a Mickie James. Those two had to at least wrestle maybe once. At least once. She showed her respect and said, look, I'm proud of you, girl. You always know how to make it go. When it's time to go, you go. And you won this title. I'm proud of you. But I'm not here to, not to say, kiss your ass. Because she doesn't say that, but that's basically what she was implying. I'm not here to kiss your ass. I'm here to let you know your next opponent is right here. You don't need to look in the back. You need to look right here. And that turning point is my time. And they show their respect. Now, I want to make this clear. I am very interested in this match. It's time to see someone like a Mercedes Martinez who's been in the business 20 freaking years, who easily could have been spotlighted on WWE television properly and be like better than Charlotte Flair. The woman's worked 20 years in the business. She knows how to do the job properly. She was in the performance center. She was training people. That means something, guys. If they let her train people, that means she knows her damn business and they treated her like shit. So seeing her, yes, it is an Impact Plus show. I would like to see her built months ahead of time, but they didn't bring her in. Still, this is something I'm very interested in seeing. Two well-versed, well-traveled wrestlers, two veterans of the business that know how it works. One, at least 20 years, and a Mercedes Martinez, and at least with Mickie James, nearly 20 years. I believe she started in 2006 or 5. I can't remember, but I say at least 6. So she's almost 17 to 16 years in the business, just a little bit less than her, but they both have worked their asses off. They both earned their accolades, and I want to see it. I'm hoping it ends out well. Now, you got Madman Fulton versus Sabin. I knew this was not going to end well. I knew it. Because there's no direction. Guys, this is one of the problems of this beginning. You see things begin to build. Like a Mercedes Martinez. Hopefully they're going to make her into something. You see inspiration being spotlighted. Whether you think they haven't learned anything, or because this is so different for them, having been under a certain criteria in WWE where they could never use their creative juices. Now they're doing it, but doesn't mean they got it right in the beginning, because this is the first time they're putting this stick on television, no matter if it's live or taped. There's going to be some type of hiccups for them. I'm being honest here because, not because I love the women of Jessie and Cassie. I'm just being honest here. Like I said, they got a lot to prove. So they could screw up and they're going to have to go backtrack and start over again. It just depends. But when it comes to this, where is Chris Sabin going? Where are they going to go with Ace Austin, who has now printed up a shirt saying, I beat Chris Sabin? Really? You're going to try and make a feud about him beating Chris Sabin. Yes, a world champion. I understand it. But didn't he go through that with Eddie Edwards? He did. This just worries me that they have really nothing for Chris Sabin. And they really don't know what to do with Ace Austin. Worse, you look at this match. You see Madman Fulton Sabin. And I forgot to say this at Bound for Glory. Chris Sabin's not using the Motor City Machine Guns music anymore. He's using his own music. If it's old or new, I don't know. It's new music to me. So it is something different. They are moving forward with different stuff. But you wonder, what are they doing with these three guys? You're just going to have them in a feud? You've never done anything with Madman Fulton other than the... he really looked very good when it came to Ohio versus everything. But then he really didn't do anything once he went with Ace Austin. He just became his lackey, his muscle. And they really haven't done anything in the tag division. Have they won any tag titles? No. I don't remember them winning anything unless I'm forgetting anything. I'm becoming Alzheimer. I'm forgetting or demented. I'm not being disrespectful to anyone who has Alzheimer or dementia. I'm just saying I don't remember it. I don't know anything about it. So they've done nothing with those two. Now they stuck someone who they really don't show anything other than what happened with him and Josh Alexander. What are they doing? What do we gain from these three? I don't see anything. And I'm not surprised that he won the damn match against a Madman Fulton. He supposedly has been in the business long enough that he knows how to avoid getting pinned that way. He was going to do a DDT and he did a small package into it. That wasn't bad looking. It actually looked quite good, and it didn't look like it was rehearsed or mostly choreographed. It was very little choreographed looking. It looked decent. But I don't see anything for them except to have a feud that's filler. And they deserve better, all three of them. But it's just me, guys. Tell me below. Finally, the six-man tag. You got the faces of Eddie, Josh, who is just angry beyond stinking. Eddie is trying his best to keep Josh under control. And you got Matt Cardona, who really wants to get his hands on those guys. Then you got Morrissey. Then you have Moose, who's walking down, you see him on my face, with the damn title in his hand. Making it feel real. Guys, I'm putting him in my face again. He makes the title feel real. He does. He makes it mean something. So all that craziness with the TNA title, going through all that, getting to this point, worked. The title's not making Moose. Moose is making the title, which is great. And then you have Minoru Suzuki. If I'm pronouncing it right for once, I hope. Tell me below if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Minoru Suzuki. As best can be expected, because I am so bad with names. I'm telling you. I was bad with names as a kid. I'm still bad with names now. But still, was this important? No. Guys, what did we really gain from the six-man tag other than having Minoru in the match? Does this mean now that Josh is going to have a feud with Minoru because they were striking the hell out of each other? Does this mean that Eddie's gone back to having a feud with Morrissey? Or is Eddie going after Moose? Or is Josh still going after Moose? He should be. But what does this really mean? When they said at the end of that show, now we're getting something really great going into Turning Point. What are you getting going into Turning Point? You haven't built anything. And I believe you only have until the 20th before Turning Point comes out. So you don't got much time. Honestly, I don't know what they're going to do with Minoru. What are they going to do with Morrissey? What's going on with Eddie and Josh and Matt Cardona? What is going on? Like I said, this is the beginning. You have a lot of questions what they're going to be doing going forward. It's not about the Impact Plus show meaning something. It's about what comes from this moving forward going into next year. As far as I can tell, this is a solid show. Does this give you hope that right now, knowing whoever is doing it, does this mean that we are going to have something good going into next year? I can't tell you. As much as people want to say, well, the booking's great. No. Do not fall for that, guys. Look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love Impact. I do. I'm not against it. Yeah, I've said fuck Impact Wrestling. Fuck Impact Wrestling. I have. I'm not lying about that. But I do that because we saw really bad booking. From the last year, yes, you could say a lot when it came that Kenny came over, the Good Brothers going back and forth. It really didn't give as much as many people think it did. Yeah, like JD says, well, you could see that Impact's the only one that benefited from it. Well, guess what? They didn't. I'm sorry. Yes, Access TV is in America, and I made the mistake thinking it was from Europe or even Canada. That was my mistake. My bad. I'll take that. I eat it. But even they having 20 million subscribers for their show does not mean it's something that gives the Impact Wrestling a really strong market share in the United States. Because honestly, it doesn't. Not everyone can get Access TV unless you do it online, which is possible. No problem with that. But I don't see them gaining a lot. Really, I don't. And the kicker is, what did they really gain having a Kenny Omega when literally what would have really helped them is to show their people on AEW TV? Not to take over AEW in an invasion angle, just to show more than just the Good Brothers and once Moose. Who else did they show? Father Mitchell wanders everywhere. So it was only 3 guys. 3 they showed when they could have shown more Moose. They could have shown Eddie. They could have shown basically, you could have the Dark Order working with Decay. They could have done a crossover that could give us something different. They could have gone and done a joint pay-per-view with Impact Wrestling. Or hell, they could have done a joint pay-per-view with New Japan Pro Wrestling, which they haven't done either. Now, I'm not saying that they have to just skew to losing to Ida Promotion, but what did Ida Promotion really gain? AEW didn't really gain a lot at all. Yeah, you got the Good Brothers, but you didn't give them a lot. And then worse, you think Kenny gave a lot to Impact. It didn't move the needle that much. As much as I wish it did, it didn't. Yeah, you got more people who came in the first couple of weeks when Kenny first appeared. Look, on Twitch, it was at 53,000 when he first appeared. And I'm sure after that, the numbers stayed pretty high for a while and then started dropping. Because it didn't really mean anything, because Impact fans were angry. You know why? We didn't see any of our favorite people on AEW TV other than the Good Brothers and once Moose. This is a beginning where after they dealt with AEW, which I did see an article where Tony Khan did talk about the ending the partnership of AEW, they didn't have any bad problems, and it seems that pretty much Tony is still talking with Scott D'Amore, which is a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. But to me, this is a new beginning, and I hope they make it mean something. I'm not going to tell you this show was great. It was solid, yes. Enough for a new beginning for them. But we still got a lot of questions. Please question. Don't just go with it. Think, guys. But this is just me, and I hope you enjoyed the Zane's View. Please give me a comment below. Have a good day. Have a good night.